My child, you are not falling behind. Before we begin, my child, I want you to be honest with me. How many times have you looked at someone else's life and quietly wondered what was wrong with yours? How many times have you watched others move forward while feeling as though you were standing still? How many times have you smiled on the outside while secretly asking, why am I not there yet? I know those moments. I know the thoughts you rarely say out loud. I know the questions that echo through your heart when the room becomes quiet. You see someone getting married while you are still waiting. You see someone building a successful career while you feel stuck. You see someone reaching goals you once dreamed about. You see friends buying homes, starting families, launching businesses, achieving milestones. And little by little, a painful thought begins to grow inside you. Maybe I am behind. Maybe I missed my chance. Maybe everyone else is moving forward except me. My child, I need you to hear me carefully today. You are not falling behind. Not in my eyes, not in my plan, not in the story I am writing for your life. Beloved, before we go any further, if these messages strengthen your faith and remind you that my love is always near, subscribe to this channel so you can continue receiving encouragement, hope, and reminders that you are never alone. Now let me speak directly to your heart, because I know something about you that many people do not. I know how hard you have been trying. I know how many tears have fallen when nobody was looking. I know how many disappointments you have quietly carried. I know how many times you have prayed and wondered if anyone was listening. I know how many nights you stared at the ceiling while your mind replayed the same questions. What am I doing wrong? Why is this taking so long? When will my life finally change? Dear one, those questions do not scare me. You do not have to hide them from me. You do not have to pretend everything is fine when your heart is tired. You do not have to act strong when you feel weak. You do not have to smile when you feel broken. You can bring all of it to me, because I already see it. I see the pressure you place upon yourself. I see the expectations you carry. I see the way you compare your life to everyone around you. And I see how much it hurts. Comparison is one of the heaviest burdens many of my children carry. It often arrives quietly. At first, it seems harmless. You scroll through a few pictures. You hear a few success stories. You see someone else's accomplishments. And before you realize it, your eyes are no longer focused on your own journey. They are focused on everyone else's. Suddenly, what you have seems smaller. What you have accomplished seems less important. The progress you have made feels insignificant, and the joy that once filled your heart begins to disappear. My child, comparison is like standing in a beautiful garden and refusing to notice your own flowers because you are staring at someone else's. You forget that every flower blooms in its own season. You forget that every seed grows at a different pace. You forget that roots grow long before blossoms appear. And because you cannot see what is happening beneath the surface, you assume nothing is happening at all. But that is not true, not even close. Many of the greatest things I do in a person's life happen underground before they ever become visible. Roots form before branches grow. Character develops before promotion arrives. Faith deepens before doors open. Trust grows before blessings appear. Yet because these things cannot always be seen, people often believe nothing is changing. My child, I want you to think about a tree. When a seed is planted, nobody celebrates. Nobody gathers around to admire it. Nobody takes pictures of it. For a long time, it appears as though nothing is happening. But beneath the soil, a miracle is taking place. Roots are stretching deeper. Strength is developing. A foundation is being formed. The seed is preparing for a future it cannot yet see. And one day, what was hidden becomes visible. The growth that seemed absent suddenly becomes undeniable. Many of my children are living in that hidden season right now, and perhaps you are one of them. You look around and see everyone else's branches. You see everyone else's fruit. You see everyone else's success. But you cannot see your own roots, so you assume you are behind. Beloved, hidden does not mean forgotten. Waiting does not mean abandoned. Preparation does not mean failure. Just because something has not happened yet does not mean it never will. My child, I know the world tells you that faster is better. The world celebrates speed. The world rewards visibility. The world measures worth through achievements. The world constantly asks, "What have you accomplished?" But I ask something different. I ask, "Who are you becoming?" Because character matters more than applause. Faith matters more than popularity. Purpose matters more than timing. And the person you are becoming matters far more than the pace at which you are arriving. Dear one, some of your greatest frustrations come from measuring your life with someone else's clock. You were never meant to do that. I did not create identical stories. I did not design identical journeys. I did not assign identical timelines. Every life I touch unfolds differently. Every path has its own purpose. Every season carries its own lessons. And every story moves according to my wisdom. Yet so often you look at another person's chapter 10 and compare it to your chapter 3. You compare your beginning to someone else's middle. You compare your struggle to someone else's breakthrough. You compare your private battles to someone else's public victories. And the comparison leaves you discouraged. My child, if only you could see everything I see. If only you could see the battles they faced. If only you could see the tears they cried. If only you could see the years they spent waiting. If only you could see the lessons they had to learn. You would realize that everyone is walking a different road, and you would stop believing that you are behind. Because you are not. You are simply on your own journey. Beloved, there are moments when waiting feels unbearable. I know that. You pray, you hope, you trust. And still, nothing seems to change. The opportunity does not come. The relationship does not appear. The breakthrough does not arrive. The answer remains hidden. And your heart starts asking questions. Maybe God forgot me. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe everyone else matters more. Dear one, those thoughts are not the truth. The truth is that I have never forgotten you. Not for a moment. Not for a second. Not even once. Even now, I know exactly where you are. I know what you need. I know what you are waiting for. And I know what I am preparing. Remember what my word says. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29:11. Notice something important. I did not say you would understand every step. I did not say you would always know what I am doing. I did not say the journey would always make sense. But I did promise that I have a plan, a future, a hope. And my child, that promise still belongs to you, even now, especially now. Perhaps you are watching this while feeling stuck. Perhaps everyone around you seems to be moving ahead. Perhaps you feel as though life has forgotten your address. But I want you to hear me. I know exactly where you are, and I have not lost sight of you. Not even in the waiting, not even in the silence, not even in the uncertainty. In fact, some of the most beautiful parts of your story are being written in places you cannot yet see. There are lessons being learned, strength being developed, wisdom being formed, faith being deepened, and one day you will look back and realize that what felt like delay was actually preparation. What felt like abandonment was actually protection. What felt like being overlooked was actually my hand guiding you towards something better than you imagined. My child, you do not have to compete with anyone. You do not have to race anyone. You do not have to catch up with anyone. The life I created for you is not a competition. It is a relationship. It is a journey. It is a story unfolding one day at a time. And I am walking beside you through every chapter. So today, I want you to release something. Release the pressure to keep up. Release the pressure to prove yourself. Release the pressure to match someone else's timeline. Release the pressure to become someone you were never created to be. Because the truth is simple. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. And you are not falling behind. You are exactly where you need to be to learn what this season came to teach you. And even though you cannot yet see the full picture, I can. What I see ahead for you is filled with more hope than you can imagine. But perhaps right now, that hope feels far away. Perhaps your circumstances are speaking louder than my promises. Perhaps the waiting has lasted longer than you expected. Perhaps you have grown tired of hearing people say, "Just be patient." Because patience feels different when you are the one living through the delay. I understand that. I understand the ache of waiting. I understand the loneliness that can come when you feel as though everyone else is moving forward while your life seems paused. And because I understand, I want to remind you of someone who once felt very much the way you do now. His name was Joseph. When Joseph was young, I gave him a dream. It was a beautiful dream, a glimpse of a future I had prepared for him. But after receiving that dream, Joseph's life did not immediately become easier. In fact, it became much harder. He was misunderstood. He was rejected. He was betrayed by his own brothers. The very people who should have protected him sold him into slavery. Imagine how confusing that must have felt. Imagine receiving a promise and then watching everything seem to move in the opposite direction. Imagine believing that your future holds something beautiful while your present feels painful. That was Joseph's reality. And perhaps it feels familiar to you. Perhaps you have received dreams that seem distant now. Perhaps you once believed life would look different by this point. Perhaps you thought you would be further along. Perhaps you thought things would make more sense. Joseph may have felt the same way. But my child, I was still with him. I was with him in the pit. I was with him in slavery. I was with him in the prison. I was with him during every silent year. And even though Joseph could not always see my hand never left him. That is true for you as well. Just because you cannot see me working does not mean I am absent. Just because the answer has not arrived does not mean I have stopped moving. Just because the door remains closed does not mean I have forgotten the key. Beloved, there were years in Joseph's story that looked like failure, Years that looked wasted, years that looked delayed, years that made no sense. But those years were not wasted. Those years were preparation. The pit prepared him. The prison prepared him. The waiting prepared him. The disappointment prepared him. Every difficult season was shaping him into the person he needed to become for the future I had prepared. And one day, what looked like delay revealed itself as divine timing. The doors opened. The purpose became clear. The dream unfolded. Not because Joseph forced it to happen, not because he outran everyone else, not because he compared himself to others, but because my timing arrived. My child, there is something I want you to remember. Joseph's story would have looked completely different if he had judged his life too early. If he had stopped in the pit, he would have thought his story was over. If he had stopped in the prison, he would have thought I had abandoned him. If he had stopped during the waiting, he would have believed the promise had failed. But the story was not finished, and neither is yours. You are judging chapters that are still being written. You are evaluating seasons that are still unfolding. You are looking at unfinished pages and assuming you know the ending. But I am the author of your story, and I have not finished writing. Dear one, some of the pressure you feel comes from believing that you are running out of time. You look at your age. You look at your circumstances. You look at your opportunities, and fear begins whispering. You should be further ahead. You should have accomplished more. You should have figured this out by now. But fear does not tell the truth. Fear measures your life by deadlines. I measure your life by purpose. Fear measures your life by comparison. I measure your life by calling. Fear measures your life by speed. I measure your life by growth. And those are not the same thing. My child, there are flowers that bloom in early spring. There are flowers that bloom in summer. There are flowers that bloom in autumn. None of them are late. Each blooms in its appointed season. And just because another flower blooms first does not mean the others have failed. It simply means their season has not yet arrived. You are not late. You are growing. You are not forgotten. You are being prepared. You are not overlooked. You are being guided. And one day what seems delayed now will make sense in ways you cannot yet imagine. Remember what my word says. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Ecclesiastes 3:11. Notice those words carefully. In its time. Not your time. Not someone else's time. Its time. The timing that fits perfectly into my wisdom. The timing that sees what you cannot see. The timing that understands what your future requires. The timing that protects you from things you are not yet ready for. Beloved, many times you ask me to hurry. But what if my delay is protecting you? What if the closed door is mercy? What if the waiting season is preparation? What if the opportunity you desire today would have harmed you if it arrived too soon? I see what you cannot see. I know what you do not yet know. And because I love you, I will never sacrifice your future just to satisfy today's impatience. My child, I know that waiting can feel painful. But there is something even more painful than waiting. Arriving somewhere before you are ready. Receiving something before your character can sustain it. Holding a blessing before your heart has matured enough to handle it. That is why preparation matters. That is why growth matters. That is why timing matters. And that is why your story cannot be compared to anyone else's. Dear one, want you to stop looking at your life through the lens of disappointment. Instead, begin looking through the lens of trust. Trust that I am working. Trust that I am guiding. Trust that I am preparing. Trust that I am present. Trust that I know what I am doing even when you do not understand it. Remember another promise I have given you. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him. Romans 8:28. Not some things, not easy things, all things. The victories, the setbacks, the breakthroughs, the disappointments, the waiting seasons, the confusing seasons, the joyful seasons, the painful seasons. I am able to weave all of them together into something beautiful. My child, perhaps today you feel invisible. Perhaps you feel forgotten. Perhaps you feel left behind. Perhaps you feel like your best years are slipping away. Let me gently remind you of something. Your future is not behind you. Your purpose has not expired. Your calling has not disappeared. And your story is not ending. In fact, some of the most beautiful chapters may still be ahead of you. There are blessings you have not seen, doors you have not walked through, people you have not met, opportunities you cannot yet imagine, prayers that are closer to being answered than you realize. And I am already present in every one of those future moments. I am already preparing what is ahead. I am already making a way, even now, especially now. So stop measuring your worth by your progress. Stop measuring your value by your accomplishments. Stop measuring your life by someone else's timeline. Measure your life by my love instead. Because my love has never changed. My love has never weakened. My love has never abandoned you. And my love is carrying you through this very season. Beloved, one day you will look back and see that the waiting was not empty. You will see that the delays had purpose. You will see that the detours had meaning. You will see that my hand was guiding you the entire time. And when that day comes, you will realize something beautiful. You were never falling behind. Not once. Not for a single moment. You were simply walking a path that looked different from everyone else's. And that path was leading exactly where I intended it to lead. So rest your heart today. Release the pressure. Release the comparison. Release the fear. Release the timeline you have been carrying. Place it in my hands. Let me carry what has been exhausting you. Let me hold what has been weighing you down. Let me remind you that your future is safe with me, because it is. And before we finish, if this message has encouraged your heart and helped you remember that my timing is always good, subscribe to this channel for more messages of faith, hope, and encouragement. Let these reminders continue strengthening your heart whenever you need them. Now, pray with me. Father, for every heart listening right now, I ask for peace. For those who feel behind, remind them that their lives are held securely in your hands. For those who are tired of waiting, give them fresh strength. For those who compare themselves to others, help them see the beauty of the unique path you have prepared for them. Lord, quiet every fearful voice that says they are too late, too far behind, or not enough. Replace those lies with your truth. Remind them that they are loved, seen, and deeply valued. Help them trust your timing, even when they do not understand it. Help them believe that you are still working, still guiding, and still writing a beautiful story for their lives. Give them courage for today, hope for tomorrow, and peace for this moment. Let them rest in the assurance that they do not have to race anyone. compete with anyone or prove themselves to anyone. Their identity is secure in your love. Thank you for never leaving them, never forgetting them, and never letting go of them. In my name, Amen. My child, take a deep breath. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not falling behind. And the story I am writing for your life is far more beautiful than you can see right now.